Hello guys, DJParson here and I'm back with another video, and today is going to be about the Intermezzo Championship. I'm not going to be showing the whole season, sadly, I don't have the time for that, but I will be showing my top game from the season. But first we're going to talk not about my league, because as you can see here, and maybe you followed the standings, I'm only playing in Platinum 4, or what is only, it's still one of the highest leagues. But we're going to take a quick look at the Grandmasters. As you can see, all of these have finished already, so let's take a look who won in the Grandmasters. It was very close between Vivi and Weidenbaum, both with 16 points, and the tiebreakers mean the tiebreaker rules means that Vivi is going to be the champion this season, so congratulations to Vivi. If you're wondering, the tiebreaker is because he won 2 games versus Weidenbaum, and Weidenbaum only won versus Vivi, or won or had a higher position in the 3 games they were in. As you know, everybody plays against each other 3 times, and Vivi was on a higher position in 2 of those, and Weidenbaum in the last. But yeah, congratulations to Vivi, to Weidenbaum, and Air Ostrafio, who was able to make a good 3rd place. Also close in general, really close. 12 to 16 points is not a lot of difference. So yeah, Hebrew and P4, 2 really strong players that we know very well, will rank down to the Masters League. And yeah, let's find out from my top game if I'm able to go back into the Masters and gonna be playing against one of those guys, or if I stay in Platinum or go down to Gold 1. As I said, I'm not gonna be showing all the games, only this one, but it is my top game of this season. So let's get into that. So here we are playing versus Kishantri on the 1st spot. I'm on number 2, and then Shorty on Shorty 55 on position 3. Let's take a quick look at the leaders and wonders. We have, as we saw, Ashoka already taken, Hammurabi, Library, Roman Roads, the rest not so good. Joan of Arc, Leonardo Gutenberg, Universitas, Darwin, Shakespeare, Catherine, Mandela, Steve Jobs and Einstein, Bill Gates, always good, especially in 3 players, I would say. No Red Cross. Manhattan Project is here, no Hollywood, Kremlin, Railroad, no Suez. Alright. So yeah, Chandri takes Ashoka. And then let's see what I will decide to pick. It can be Moses and Frugality, so a lot of early food that we're gonna have. Let's see if we can make that work. And Shorty will take the only one on the board for 3 civil actions, the Roman Roads. So with that, H1 will start. The library will come out, but on 3 I don't think me or Kshantri will grab that on 3. He grabs the Urban Growth, starts accumulating some cards for Shoka Perps, and builds a mine. Pretty standard stuff. I will elect Moses, increase Pop, build the mine, and grab the Stonehenge actually then. Okay, so I don't want to wait for another wonder. I mean, I need happy faces with Moses, so maybe the Stonehenge can work. Also, in 3 players, one big difference is there's 2 monarchies and 2 code of laws. I think the fact that these 2 are double here, and also 1 more warfare. These are pretty high value, high science cards that don't need anything else. They're not like Iron, where you also need to invest rocks to make them work. Only science, and that's exactly what Stonehenge gives you. So I think in 3 players it's better than in 2 players. But in general, I am not an expert in 3 players. I don't play a lot of 3 players anymore, basically only in the tournament games. So don't trust me too much in what I say about the current meta of 3-player games. If you don't want to know more, then you should look at Weidenbaum's channel. He plays a lot of 3 players. I think he said recently that it's his favorite game mode at the time, or at the moment. So he also uploads, and he was in the Masters, in the Grandmaster League, as you just saw. So if you want to see more great, especially 3-player games, watch the full season of the Intermezzo in the Grandmasters League on Weidenbaum's channel. So we saw Shorty go for Alex. Kishantri here goes for Michelangelo after grabbing the library, producing extra rocks with Ashoka, and then I will increase Pop, grab the Breakthrough, and Warfare. Early warfare is interesting. Yeah, basically probably just to have something to develop. I mean, the warfare is pretty good, I would say. Again, even more so in 3 players, because there's only one strategy, so it is kind of unlikely that you will get the strategy, making the warfare a lot better. So yeah, I like that. Of course, the Code of Laws is better, but there's one more copy of the Code of Laws. Don't want to grab that for 2. Shorty will get the copy of Code of Laws here. Hand-John of Arc, pretty good combo, getting 1 military action and then soon 1 civil action as well. But he probably finishes from roads next turn. Kishantri will open the first development of agriculture, more food for Moses. Grabs iron and has to get out of corruption, but he does that easily and starts building on the library. Will I then play politics? No, I can't. No politics cards in hand. I can grab the printing press and Leonardo. Increase population 2 times. We have so much population here, that is nice. I have to build a warrior to get out of corruption. We have the according tactic as well, so we don't draw any cards now, but yeah. Yeah, it's nice. We have all the food used with Moses, and next turn we can go for Leonardo and that printing press. I don't know if printing presses are that good in 3 players, but we're gonna find out. Shorty will build the extra lab, grab rich land, so he doesn't finish that Roman roads, interestingly. Kishantri goes for the iron, upgrades 1 and another one, so he skips the finishing of that library. We'll play a tactic, and I mean, yeah, like this, he produces extra with the Shoka, so he's producing quite a lot here, which is nice for him. I of course didn't draw any cards, so I can't play politics. What I can do is go for Leonardo, printing press, build 1, and even build another one, so we have now very good science production. I'm starting to think that we don't really need the Stonehenge. Maybe for the happy face, but in general, that wonder hasn't worked out like I promised you guys. We didn't go for it early on, and we don't have a way to use the science boost immediately. There's the second Code of Laws. Would be nice if we get it next turn. But first, Shorty gets his copy of the code and Roman roads, so that is great for him. Getting the 2 extra science here from the development of science. Being able to go for code and the Roman roads here, pretty solid for him. I think Kishantri is also looking very solid with the early iron, with the library for extra science. Not too happy about his leader, Michelangelo. I'm not so sure if he will work for him. He basically grabbed him to produce extra food with a Shoka, but he's not looking too promising. I guess he has a lot of rock production, so wonders are good. None of these give happy faces, but that's not necessary for Michelangelo to be good. I would like to see him go for the Forbidden City now. Elect Michelangelo. Okay, that's weird. And I guess it can be correct, but I don't think it is. If he elected Michelangelo here and grabbed the Forbidden City, he would have gotten 1 rock. Of course, now with Shoka he also produces 1 rock, and he would have saved 1 civil action. I guess maybe it's correct. Then he builds a warrior to get out of corruption. Maybe it was correct. It looked weird, but I think, yeah, I can see why that was correct, perhaps. Development of crafts, opened by me. And then there's code, but I decide to not go for the code, because I want the iron going, and then I still plan on finishing that Stonehenge. So I start building on that a little bit, so we can finish it next turn, perhaps. I don't have high hopes to still get the code. I think Kishantri is gonna grab that. We'll see. Shorty also goes for printing presses, so perhaps they are also good in 3 players, and he goes for 2 of them, as well as swordsman. I think I tend to play too little military in 3 and 4 player games. I mean, at the moment I am the strongest, but these 2 guys are already grabbing military technologies. But I think that's something some people have said, especially on my International Championship games, that I undervalue the early military, and that's why I sometimes don't have a good start into games. Because I think in 2 players you can do that more easily than 3 and 4 player games. But here I'm pretty confident. I have the warfare, which is really nice to put down the pressure these guys can put on us, even without having military technologies yet. So Kishantri will also open another development politics. I'm pretty certain he goes for code here. He goes for knights. Oh, he's gonna not go for the code. Ah, yes. He is gonna go for the code. He goes for the knights. So yeah, now there could be some pressure. So I should probably go for the warfare. Also, vast territory. But there's even still cartography. I could make this a colony game. He will play the vast territory. Will open the development of civil life, which I can use to develop the warfare perhaps. Yes, I do that. And finish that Stonehenge. 10 science. Sadly, can't go for the monarchy. There's still 2 of them, so I could get the other copy. Then with my last selection, I do grab those knights, just to have them and don't become too weak. So keeping all the colonization cards. I mean, there's 2 colonies in there, and we even get another one. So we are prepared for the colonies. And there's gonna be one. But Kishantri will be able to win that. He has to send away 2 units. That's expensive. Not 100% sure I agree with this. Early territories are great, but they are also costly. This could cost him a lot of tempo in a way. I'm not too big a fan of sending too many units, especially early on for these colonies. I mean, he has a lot of rocks, so that won't be a problem. What will be a problem, he can't finish the Forbidden City now next turn and rebuild military. He has to spend his turn, maybe, I guess he has population. It is fine for him, it is not definitely a mistake, but early territories take the wind out of your sail in a way. You slow down yourself. He has great production already. He would have been fine without the colony. Could have finished the Forbidden City, maybe upgrade food as well. I guess that's one problem he has. Maybe he thinks he's not going to get the last irrigation. He needs a colony with yellow cubes. So we're going to see if that works out for him or not. Shorty will upgrade food, I think he did. Yeah, increase population, build a warrior, and upgrade food again. So he's going up to 3 strength. See, now Kishantri is the weakest, so maybe he can't play politics because he sent away those units. Maybe he stays weakest. We will find out. First he goes for the code. Will finish that Forbidden City and grab Taj Mahal. Yeah. And rebuild a warrior. So he's gonna stay the weakest. But he will get the Taj Mahal, setting up, or Michelangelo helping with that setup. Maybe not his best wonder, the Taj Mahal, but he has a lot of rock production, so maybe it's fine. And I can see, sadly I can't push. I can't open the territories that are on top, so I probably should open the borders agreement to someone so I can keep holding these colonization cards. I do that, I offer that to Shorty, and he will accept. And then I can go for knights as well. And copy the tactic, going up to 8 strength. So, and this time I'm the one putting on a little bit of pressure. Could have also gone for monarchy as well, but I decide against it. It's pretty late. In 3 players there's an abundance of government forms. There's 2 republics and 2 cornmons. You're pretty likely to get one of these. I have the warfare already, so republic is fine. Could even go for Catherine or Kremlin to get more military actions. So I'm happy with republic or cornmon. So I think it's too late for monarchies, especially on 2 civil elections. So yeah. Oh, that's interesting that I discard a colonization card and keep the aggression. Not something I would always do, I guess. There's more colonies in there, and the vast is one of them. But having the aggression enslave as an option against these weaker players, especially against Shorty, we have that open borders agreement with him, so we have a lot of force when we attack him. So that could be good. So H2 will start. Shorty will grab the drama. So he's setting up for Shakespeare, which I think, I mean, it is pretty dangerous in a 3-player game in last position especially, I would think. Then he grabs some more cards, goes for Swordsman, upgrade and upgrade. Yeah, this looks like we could definitely play that aggression. We've drawn almost all of the colonization cards, or defend cards. I think we discarded one, so yeah, we've really almost drawn all of them. Only problem is he could draw H2 defend cards, but since we don't have anything else to do next turn, could be worth it to go for the aggression anyway. Chantry wants to be the strongest, goes for extra knight and starts building on that Taj Mahal, cultural heritage and urban growth. So we can even get the cartography if we want. Can even get the navigation immediately. And navigation, it looks even better. So let's see if I go for the aggression. No, I don't. I mean, yeah, we would be attacking with attacking with 10, but he has 4 military actions. So just 1 defend card would be enough. With the fact that there aren't that many, it could have been worth it. But on the other hand, it also cost the 2 military actions, where we would need the 1 extra to draw full. So it could have been worth the risk, but we can also keep it maybe for next turn, but then it becomes more likely that he can defend with H2 cards. So this decision, definitely debatable. So finally a green card again. We also have more colonization cards, so I think the colonies that are in should be ours. Shorty apparently doesn't want to go for Shakespeare. Darwin, on the other hand, would be looking very great from here. Yeah, if he gets Darwin, he's looking very strong. So much culture production and extra reach from Darwin. Oh boy, yeah. I would like that even more than Shakespeare for him at this point. I could have even seen him go for Darwin this turn, but he wants the cav, which is also important. So Kishantri will grab scientific method. No one is playing any politics, so these colonies are not coming out. He goes for scientific method, grabs engineering genius and efficient upgrade. That are some great cards for him. And again, he wants to be really stronger than us, going for even 1 more knight. But I think I still play that international negotiations now. Yeah, try to open a colony. And it's going to be wealthy. I'm able to win that quite easily by just sending away 1 warrior. And then I have a lot of rocks. And I go for the statue. I mean, yeah, there's still the vast here, so I'm not 100% sure if that is what is correct, is Statue of Liberty. We don't have a government form yet, but as I said, there's 4 of them left. It would be very unlikely that we don't get any of those. And then we can go for them immediately. Let's see if I also finish that. Yeah, I finish. No, I build 1 stage, get out of corruption and grab the cannon. There could have been a lot of other ways to play this. Like grabbing riflemen and cannons, maybe upgrading the warrior to riflemen. I mean, yeah, also we miss out on the selective breeding. And we're gonna see if that works out or not. Seeing this game now, I'm not so confident in this play, but I think I also remember me having to take quite a lot of time for this turn. We have a lot of rocks and no population, so it makes sense to go for wonders, and this statue is the only one there. And it, at least theoretically, should work. It can work in a couple of ways. We don't have happy face solutions at the moment. We don't have food, and statue helps with all of those. And we definitely have enough science for an H2 government form. So yeah, we're gonna see how that will work out or not. Shorty will open the historic territory, which I don't want to have, but Shorty wants it for the swordsman. I mean, for me, I have no population. I have enough happy face at the moment, but no population. If I send away even the warrior, I'm not going to get that population back for a long time, probably. So I don't want that. Shorty will then go for even 1 more agriculture, or irrigation. Goes for rebuilding the swordsman and grabbing cannon. So both cannons are gone now. Yeah, so cannons were pretty important here. Kishantri is going to miss out on those. And he could have definitely... Yeah, I mean, he also has other options, but these are also the first riflemen. And the others, he probably wants those riflemen then. So a lot of food, not that many rocks for Shorty here. But Kishantri will go for an aggression against Shorty, but he will be able to defend. Shorty, that is. So yeah, Kishantri not getting that military action back, or spending that military action can be costly. He could have also gone for Robespierre Cornmon here, which would have been interesting. But he decides that it's not something he wants to do. Finishing the Taj Mahal, though, will be his choice. and he will build an extra warrior. I mean, Kishantri had a good start, but hasn't found a solution for population yet. I guess he did have the inhabited, but his military is just so inefficient. He has 6 units in military and no new population anytime soon. I guess he can go for one more wonder with Michelangelo. Grabbing any of these would be great for him to spend his rocks. He even has the architecture. But besides that, he really needs his population. So, now it's my turn. I could play the Freedom. Yeah, probably the Freedom. Open the vast territory, and I'm able to win this. Yeah, this is what we've been waiting for quite some time. Getting the vast for just 1 warrior is pretty great. And then we can finish that Statue of Liberty, giving ourselves, yeah, all of a sudden we have so many yellow cubes. It looks like we don't need a food solution anymore, and heavy phase solution also. And then we also get the Cornmon here. Yeah, get the Cornmon as well. Can increase population 2 times and rebuild the warrior. And I would like to see 1 reserves here, or rebuilding 2 warriors even, to be able to defend, or just in general using the military actions that we have, and then grabbing the reserves here as well. So after this turn, I really like our position. Before it was some things that weren't working out too well, but okay. But now it's looking really great. We got the statue, which is giving us a lot of yellow cubes, and the 2 culture production now from the Cornmon. We got the Cornmon this turn, which is always great. And then also the vast territory solving our food production, not forever, but for quite some time, I would say. We can play the reserves, get 1 more population next turn, and then the next one is also going to be easy. So 2 more population in a very short amount of time is great. Shorty will develop those calf and probably build 1. Yeah. Grab the patriotism and the frugality. Chandri will also open something. Call to arms. I draw 1 extra card and he draws. Shorty draws 2. At this point for me, I mean, getting autonomous, so that is a pretty good draw for the one that we got here with the navigation still. Yeah, I mean, not too harsh here anymore. For Shorty, it's a little bit different. He would have liked his civil actions, I think. But late call to arms is always very interesting, what you would prefer. Kishandri prefers going for rifleman this turn. We'll upgrade 1 and another one. Not drawing a lot of cards. That's one problem with building so many units. Doing all those knights and now upgrading to a rifleman. Also coming back to sending away 2 units for the inhabited, just saying. Still not saying that it's the wrong move. It has helped him quite a bit with his population. But he's gonna have some food problems very soon. Especially if we grab away the selective. Can upgrade. Never grab the breakthrough. Yeah. So pretty clean turn. Going for food production. Because, yeah, as I said, we would have 2 population in some time, but we want more. And it's still early enough to justify going for the selective breeding. We have a lot of rocks. So yeah, going for the selective breeding, pretty good. Did I skip politics? I did skip those politics. I'm not sure why. I think I could have played the autonomous or the historic. I'm not the weakest. That's interesting. I think I should have played. Maybe I was... Sometimes that happens, that I'm too excited by the cards coming down and I'm so sure already what I want to do that I just want to get rid of the politics phase and waste that. Hopefully that wasn't the case here and I had a good reason. Scientific breakthrough, 5, 7 and 4 science. So yeah, Kishantri has a lot of science, so he's probably looking to get the Cornmon. Shorty could deny the Cornmon, but it doesn't look like he's going to do that. He goes for the Republic. Or is he also going to deny the Cornmon? That would be very mean to Kishantri. We'll grab the coal, but not the Cornmon. Okay, so Shorty plays for his own benefit and not to hurt Kishantri in this case. Both of them legitimate things to do. Kishantri goes for an aggression against me, but I can defend the enslave, and this means he's not drawing any cards, but he does get the Cornmon. Yeah, Kishantri isn't really maybe not the biggest fan of military actions, or keeping those military actions to draw cards. He likes to spend those military actions for aggressions that aren't too likely. But he can build on that railroad here, gets the Cornmon, so his position also really improved quite a bit in this turn. One problem he still has is food, and that's not going to get better once the age is over. He's going to lose 2 yellow cubes, and then he's an active uprising. But he can grab the... what? That's not what I expected. I think I would have liked maybe Newton more. I also definitely elect James Watt, because Michelangelo is going to be gone and he doesn't produce anything here. So he should have elected Watt here, and I think I would have liked Newton maybe more. I guess maybe he's planning to get the coal with Railroad or even an early oil. But I think Strategy and Revolutionary Duo were also pretty great cards. H3 will start. We all lose our leader. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Every one of us loses our respective leader from H1. Didn't want to get rid of them. Cultural influence 7, 6, and 4, and maybe this is also a good time to look at the culture right now. 26 for Kishantri, 50 for me, 50 for Shorty. So we are pretty close. Also 7 and 6 production. So in that regard, we are pretty close. I decide to go for Maria Theresa. Shakespeare could have been an option. We have the printing presses, but we don't have operas. And movies might be late. And we can use Maria Theresa immediately. We can use her to get some extra science from the food. And we also want to use her for the military resources maybe next turn. So yeah, upgrading or increasing population once, building or upgrading the selective breeding for next turn, getting the extra population out. Yeah, I think Maria can be quite good here. Newton would have been an alternative, but not as great. And as I said, Shakespeare has his own problems. Draw war immediately, so we could make this a war game for us. Shorty will go for Shakespeare. Lost track of Darwin. I don't know what happened to Darwin, why Shorty didn't go for him. But he does get the Shakespeare going now. Can maybe use him a little bit. We can increase pop and build one more drama. No, it doesn't want to build the drama. Maybe because of corruption, but I think he could have built the drama perhaps. But he gets military theory, which is really great with his Republic. And Kishantri can get the second one for 1 civil action. But first, emigration. He loses 1 population and Shorty. So Shorty does get punished for not going for that drama instead. Could have been avoided. Kishantri losing 1 population is pretty bad for him. At least that solves his happy phases in a way. So he had to destroy the population anyway. Or solve that in another way. Again, go for the military theory. Finish that railroad. Go for what? Grab Pro Sports and efficient upgrade. So yeah, he's planning to go for oil. He can also the coal on 1 here. Grabs Pro Sports and efficient upgrade. Those 2 can be quite good cards for him. And 25 strength. That is looking dangerous. So I think now it's time for me to try and get some military up myself. Freedom of movement. Don't have the best movement here. I think, yeah, going from warrior to knight and then switching into the hussars. But for that we really want the tanks. There's still 2 copies of them, so hopefully we can grab them at some point. There's also an air force. I can go for that. And then maybe build 1 air force this turn using the extra rocks from Maria and going up to 21 strength. So at least we solved our military problem here. Going up to 21 means we can defend against Kishantri. We are threatening Shorty. We have 2 wars in hand. So yeah, maybe from now on we only concentrate on military. We have the culture lead over Kishantri. Not over Shorty, but if Shorty concentrates too much on his military, then on his culture production, then we can maybe punish him with military. So we'll have to see if that can be our goal. Shorty will open international negotiations, so Kishantri is the strongest. Shorty can decide what he has to give to Kishantri, and he chooses food. I think that was food. That was pretty fast. Yeah, food. 3 food to Kshantri, then he can increase population. Goes 1 more Hussar, 1 more Cavalryman, and therefore 1 more Hussar tactic. Patriotism, reserves. Yeah, he has a lot of civil actions, which is great for him. And still no extra drama. I mean, this is for culture production and the happy face. There could still be something where you need happy faces. But if you'd done that last turn, that's already 8 culture. He's missed out on that. But he will grab the computers. Bill Gates, ignored so far, but Kshantri is able to go for Bill Gates quite easily. Let's see if he decides to do that. Autonomous, and I'm able to win it. But for 12 plus, that's quite expensive. Has to be 2 knights. 2 knights for the autonomous. And I decide to go for taking the food from the autonomous. So we have a lot of food now, working really nicely with Maria Theresa. That of course is a great combo. Getting the food, regaining the science and the culture from Maria, having the extra rocks to rebuild the military, and then hopefully we can combo that with the tanks next turn. Kshantri will grab the oil and Marie Curie instead of Bill Gates, and McAg. Does he have enough civil actions? Goes for 1 oil, another oil, and another oil. 20 rock production. Next turn he can go for McAg and then switch into Marie Curie. So yeah, he's behind in culture, but he will be way ahead in military. One thing that he will miss out on is air forces. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can catch up with culture without going for military, because military, it is not necessarily out of the question now. He has an H2 card. If that is the classic army, then he has still military potential, but without air forces it's always going to be hard against someone with air forces. So he probably, after going for all of his food and rock upgrades, probably has to find a way to produce a lot of culture, maybe with a couple of movies or wonders, something like that. So that probably has to be his goal. So I will open the arms industry. No one has artillery. That's interesting. Kshantri gets the rocks for the infantry, Shorty for the cav, but no one has cannons. That you don't see that so often. I do get those tanks. They are great. I can increase population, build the tanks, reduce population again, build another tank, perhaps. Yeah, build 1 more tank. 31 strength now. Revolutionary idea and urban growth, pretty good cards for 1 civil action. 31 strength, and we have the war with the reserves. We also have enough to build 1 more tank and 1 more air force next turn. That is quite the boost, strength boost. So we are definitely looking threatening. That's why opponents do a military alliance. Yeah, that works out for them. Both of them get 3 extra strength. Shorty goes to military theory, upgrades coal relatively late, but maybe still worth it. I really want to see the extra drama now. Of course, he grabs Air Force, Steve Jobs for his computers, satellites, and finally the extra drama, so 12 culture production for him. And then next turn, probably Steve Jobs and computers. Yeah, could work. He needs the happy faces, so that works out. Kshantri goes for the McAg upgrade, upgrade. Goes for Marie Curie, and then with his last couple of civil actions, he also goes for 1 arena. Yes, but arena doesn't produce any culture. I still see the same problem for him. Yeah, this turn is great, of course. I think you have to go for the McAg, but I mean, he also has the problem there's no culture production building on the board. So hopefully for him next turn he can maybe go for movies or multimedia, or just concentrate on wonders. But there the problem is he already has 4 wonders because he had Michelangelo, so these are really, really expensive to grab. Of course there's still impacts, but not a single impact has been played yet, so you can't rely on only your impacts because you have great economy, etc. to give you enough culture to win at the end. So yeah, he's in a race against time in a way. Grabs endowment and patriotism. I don't think he can make the military work without air forces. I will not play the input of science nor the input of culture because both of them are pretty bad for me. Yeah, but I also don't go for the war, but I think I'm preparing a war for next turn. Building the tank, building an air force, grabbing reserves and revolutionary idea again, and one more reserve. So yeah, maybe it would have been good to grab the military buildup away from someone. On the other hand, Kashantri has more than enough rocks. He doesn't need military buildup. And Shorty, yeah, from him perhaps I should have grabbed the military buildup, but that's pretty expensive on 3 civil actions. Another option would have been to grab a Wonder, but Spaceflight could be okay for me. But I think with this play I'm signaling strength. I have a lot of potential for next turn still. So that's what I'm trying to go for here. Input of strength drawn is great. Hybrid war is also interesting. Shorty will respond by going for Manhattan Project. So here he is scared of the military. He has the best production of culture at the moment. So he wants to defend. He doesn't have the option to go for Gandhi because he already has Steve Jobs. He will finish this immediately. Very interesting. He doesn't want any raids happening or something like that. So he's definitely afraid of that. If not, he probably would have gone for Steve Jobs and computers. On the other hand, Shakespeare's still giving him 4 culture each turn. So maybe he wants to wait a little bit until he goes for Steve Jobs. Maybe next turn when he can go for computers and satellites on the same turn. But then he won't be producing as much from computers. So it could have been a play to not finish the Manhattan Project, go for Steve Jobs and computers. And then finish the Manhattan when you have those computers giving you more culture with the Manhattan. Cold War for me and Shorty, that's great for, I think, both of us, but maybe especially him. And Kashantri finds a good wonder for himself, the Empire State, only costing 1 civil action to finish, and he will win that in regards of food, rocks, and science, I would say. Yeah, so Empire State is definitely okay for him. And he finally gets multimedia as well, but the problem is he doesn't have enough civil actions. He needs to spend most of them on grabbing the Empire State, and then he can't go for multimedia now. So he probably plans on going for a couple of multimedia next turn, which might even be his last, and then winning a big Empire State and hope that that is enough for him. But has still not a lot of impacts, only 1, and that was played by... Okay, that was played by Kashantri at least, so if that is industry or something, that would be huge. 50 rocks. Yeah, maybe the extra oils were too much when he upgraded the first. I would have liked to see him also upgrade Meg Egg in the same turn. Because he doesn't have much free population. And then these extra oils really don't do anything. If he had 30 rocks, it would be the same. So maybe that was overkill, going for all of these oils with 20 production when you can't spend all of that. But maybe he finds a way to spend enough. Next turn, 2 multimedias and Empire State is not 50, but it gets close there. So I don't go for the war. I will open Independence Declaration, and Kashantri will lose the Inhabited. That doesn't hurt him too much because he has that pro sports, but I mean, doesn't help him at least. I go for an extra religion, interestingly, democracy, and a wonder. So I don't trust the military, apparently. I want to have the option to finish fast food, get some culture production by going for the democracy. I mean, it's hard to find an opponent here. Shorty has air forces and military buildup, and has 43 strength. Kashantri has 50 rocks. So who should I war? If I war someone with hybrid war, I don't have the heavy faces for that. If I war someone with war culture, I only have 2 military actions. I guess I could build 2 tanks, but I don't have the rocks for that right now. So it's tough. I will upgrade 1 tank, and then maybe next turn I will have the option to go declare war and go for 2 tanks then with reserves and Maria, but I'm probably gonna lose Maria by then. Maybe I also should have gone for Churchill this turn instead of democracy. Maybe the democracy wasn't so good. It cost me my science. Doesn't... I already had the Conmon. Makes the war harder. Yeah, I don't think I agree with the democracy. Churchill would have also produced 3 culture here. So I'm not too happy with the democracy. Shorty will open historic, which Kishantri is able to win. Why wasn't I able to win that one? Kishantri will send away the knight. I mean, I don't have the time for war, so I should have sent more away for this, perhaps. Maybe even an army, but yeah, maybe even an army I could have sent away that. Maybe I'm still too afraid to go for a big bid on the historic territory, because I had pretty bad experience with that at some point. But I think in this case I could have sent away 2 tanks. Shorty will grab the UN and increase pop. Build 1 more drama. Go for satellites. And then he can next turn go for computers and engineering with Steve Jobs probably as his finishing move. Because now the age will end, age 4 starts. I sadly will lose Maria Theresa. Kishantri will open the politics of strength. Okay, that might be one reason. I think maybe I played that, yeah. So being the weakest there with the colonies would have been pretty bad. Losing the 5, or yeah, like this we gain 5. And if I had sent away 2 tanks, I might have even lost 3, so that already is a big change in culture. Kishantri will then go for, as I said, probably two multimedias. Endowment, finish the Empire State for 32. And destroy that scientific method and go for 1 knight so you can defend against aggressions probably. Talking about those, I have Input of Culture in my hand, but I lose that against Kishantri already, and I don't think I have enough to go for more culture, so probably I'm gonna go for a raid. Yeah, going for a raid against Kishantri, I can destroy 2 of his buildings, making some maybe very bad impacts for him losing the Pro Sports and Scientific Method. Could have also destroyed the multimedia. But I know there's no input of science and no input of culture because I had both of them. So I think it makes more sense to destroy the Pro Sports. They're good for competition, for happy faces, for variety, so on. And I don't really need the rocks here. So I'm able to build 1 more religion, increase pop, build 1 warrior, finish that fast food chains for 25. So we are at 134 plus 13, so 147. Kishantri is at 127, so only 20 culture difference. So he did do a pretty good job at catching up with that big Empire State building. And then Shorty is at 116, but he still gets his wonder and the production. Strategic territory. Shorty wants to win that, sending away 1 cavalryman. Tanks. Going for that. He doesn't go for Steve Jobs. That's very interesting. Oh, he needs all of his rocks, right? He needs 16 rocks to finish the UN, so he can't use Steve Jobs because you have to pay him. Those damn expensive Apple products. You can destroy this to get out of the uprising. Finish the United Nations, and what will he evaluate? Harmony. 20 for me and 20 for him. So yeah, this probably puts Kishantri out of the race. He could have had some great impacts to make up for the difference, but like this, this is gonna be really close overall and come down to the impacts. Shorty will get 50 strength. I think we had impact of strength in there, right? But it's gonna be close. So before the events, 167, 162, or with the input of agriculture, 10 for me, 8 for Shorty, 14 for Kishantri. So he had some great impacts. This first one at least is pretty good for Kishantri. So overall pretty close. And only 7 culture difference now between me and Shorty. But Kishantri, with his great impacts, with his great economy, could catch up enough. Progress 12 to 24. That's enough for Shorty to overtake me. And then 16 for Kishantri. Variety 18, 16, and 12. Yeah, destroying the Pro Sports and the Scientific Method there really hurt Kishantri. Impact number 4, yeah, 14 to 7. So 219 to 219 and 0 for Kishantri. So Kishantri is out. And it couldn't be closer before the last impact between me and Shorty. And it will be Industry, 7 to 6. So with this very close finish, 226 to 225. As I said, I hope I didn't promise too much. This was my most exciting game of the season. Overall, really close. Even Kishantri could have won this if it went a little bit differently. But yeah, as close as it gets. The last impact deciding by 1, because he had 1 more production in rocks, being able to win this. Very close and very amazing game. Hope you enjoyed that. And now it's also time to look at my whole Intermezzo Championship season, because we're going to take a look at the final standings of my league. So if we go down to my league, Platinum 4, we can see that those 3 players you just saw are on the top 3. Myself, Kishantri and Shorty. And you might be wondering, okay, 19 points for DJParson, 19 for Kishantri. You remember from the start of the video how tiebreakers work. So me and Kishantri have the same points, but we played exactly 3 games against each other. And depending on who won more of them against the other, or who placed higher, wins the championship, or wins this season in this Platinum League. And you can check that out. You can see the first game is actually the one that you just saw. There I was able to finish over Kishantri, and then the second I was also able to win over Kishantri, and then the last one, where is it? Here, Kishantri was winning over me, but overall that means 2 games won by me over Kishantri, 1 by Kishantri over me, but that on the other hand means that I'm able to advance, I'm able to win this league here, and advance to the Masters League for next season. So I'm back in Masters. I was in the Grandmasters and Intermezzo before, ranked down a little bit. Last season took some time just stayed in the Platinum, but now I'm back into the Masters League, which is going to be really exciting. I don't know yet how many games you're going to see of that season. There's also the World Championship and the International Championship. So there's a lot of championships going on. I hope you enjoyed this game, this video, this most exciting of my Intermezzo Championship games. And yeah, next season in Masters League then. Well played, Kishantri and Shorty, especially Kishantri here making it really close in the league. And as you saw, both of these were pretty good players, so definitely deserved on position 2 and 3. Actually, I don't know if Shorty or Mushan, they also have a draw. I don't know which one is on 3 and which one is on 4. But that is not the point. Both of them played really well, made for a great game. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and yeah, see ya next time.